All right, welcome back. So we are finally here with the Sunder Charm, 200 faster cast rate, energy shield, Nova, seal popping, Sorceress build. There's a mouthful for you. This character's been a long time in coming. I've been waiting for Season 2 to end to finally get the Sunder Charms on non-ladder and finally mess around with these builds. And basically, why do I want to switch to Sunder Charm from the wielding infinity builds? Simple. 200 faster cast rate. The build I was using before, I was wielding infinity, and as you know, it's basically impossible to get 200 faster cast rate while wielding infinity. That's where this Sunder Charmer is going to come into play. And up until recently, it was literally impossible to have infinity and insight while having 200 faster cast rate on your main hand. What I was doing was keeping a wizard spike in my cube, and then I would use my CTA and then put my CTA in the cube and put a wizard spike on the offhand so that I could teleport on my offhand with 200 faster cast rate, which sucked because you would have most of your cube space taken up, and then you'd have to switch back after you pop the seal, and it was just a lot of hassle. But up until recently, it became possible to have infinity and insight while having 200 fast cast rate by using Metal Grid, because they finally fixed the Iron Golem. So now you would make an insight Iron Golem, and then your Merc would have infinity, and then you would be required to either use Wizard Spike or Suicide Branch. I would go with the Suicide Branch because it has the 1 to skill. But even then, you're going to end up losing 4 skill points. You're going to lose all of those amazing stats from Oculus. And then on top of that, you're going to have to worry about this golem surviving now. And then if you die, you're going to have to go and find another insight and make another Iron Golem. Just the hassle I didn't want to go through, and I never pulled the trigger on that build. I thought about it, but I never went through with it. But now that Sunder Charms are here, infinity is no longer required. I mean, you've seen builds before that I've made where you can clear and farm hell on a lightning sorceress without infinity, but it's obviously way more efficient with infinity, and for these endgame builds you definitely wanted infinity. But see, I don't see what all the complaining about these Sunder Charms is. Now that you have these Sunder Charms, it opens up so many more builds like this one here. I'm really happy with it. I've been messing around with it a little bit, and I'm definitely glad that I went through with it. But enough yapping about it. Let's get into it. Let's buff back up. We'll start with the stats as we usually do. Let me put my Nova. I just respect again. Let me put my Nova on my main so you can see the damage. Where are you? There you are. I usually keep Nova on S, so that's why I usually keep the teleport on the right. But anyways, starting with the stats. Obviously enough strength for your Spirit Monarch. I literally put 1 point into Vitality. That was because I was 1 point shy of 800 life. I figured, might as well drop that 1 point into it, make it a nice 800, 801. And then dumped the remaining stats into energy. As you can see, 801 life and exactly 2600 mana. Pretty decent. That's more than enough for players 1 farming. Resistances, as you know, with energy shield, resistances don't really matter except for poison, because you still get poison and then you get damage from it straight from your health globe. So you want to have poison resist max. Everything else doesn't matter. Nova, 4100 to 5400, not too shabby on that. It's definitely enough damage. The advanced stats, we've got the 200 MF. Like I've said many times, I think 200 MF is more than enough. That's my sweet spot, and pretty much all of my characters have 200 MF and find great stuff, except for my Barbarian, who has 700 MF. We've got the 60 fast hit recovery breakpoint. Boom, 200 fast to cast rate, which is what I want. I don't want to settle for the 105. I want 200 fast to cast rate, and that's why I'm doing the Sunder Charm build. 540% to lightning skill damage, and then minus 35 to enemy lightning resistances. On to the skill tree. Oh. Why did I still have 19 skill points? I did one into frozen armor, did one into warmth. Oh, I must have missed. There we go. Fail. So we got one into frozen armor, one into warmth, max out static field, max out nova, max out telekinesis, and max out energy shield. I might want to mention that I'm level 96. So to replicate this exact skill tree, you're going to have to be at least level 96 because, as you can see, I just maxed out those and got one into everything else. So Thunderstorm is not really required. I just have it for the look, basically. I think it looks cool. So you don't have to do Thunderstorm, and then you could basically just put as many points as you can into Energy Shield. Right now, see, it's 94. When I use CTA, boom. Just enough to get to the 95% absorb, which is what you want. On to Mr. Mercenary. We've got the Eth Insight. It's in a Thresher, 17 Meditation. We got Eth Kraken Shield, Eth Kraken Shell Fortitude. And then we got an Eth Endarials with IS Fire Res Jewel. As you can see, max resistances, 4K life. You know, damage doesn't really matter. On to the character. Buff up one more time. I went with the Oculus. I know people like to complain about the teleport when you get struck. Doesn't bother me at all. It hasn't been an issue at all, and it's not enough to give up this amazing freaking item that you should be using on an MF Sorceress. It's got the 3 to skills, 30 faster cast rate. You can socket it, all res, vitality, energy, and then that big 50 MF. Crazy. And as you can see, I've got it socketed with a 5/5 lightning facet. We got a Viper, 35 res, up to 10-12 defense, and then it's also got a 5/5 lightning facet. And then we've got a Griffins. I actually upgraded my Griffins. I had like a 17-13 before with no facet. Boom. We've got a base 2014 Griffins with a 5/5 lightning facet, which gives it minus 25 plus 19. Basically one off of perfect on the lightning skill damage and perfect on the minus enemy lightning resistance. You obviously don't have to go as super crazy as I did. You don't have to get 35 res here. You don't have to get the higher stats here. But I would recommend at least getting the minus enemy lightning resistance perfect. The lightning skill damage doesn't matter all that much, honestly. And I know some people want more than 200 MF. I'm happy with it. But if you want to get 300 MF, I know a lot of people like to run at least 300. It'd be pretty simple. You could just, instead of, you can give up the lightning facets and do 3 ists. That would give you 80. And then you'd have to get 20 from your Ami or another ring, which wouldn't be all that hard. But I definitely... I'm happy with 200 MF, and I think I'd rather have the extra clear speed. For the Ami, we've got the 2 skill, 20 faster cast rate, 22 poison res. Again, you can go cheaper on this if you want. You can get a 2 lightning skill, as long as it got the 20 fast. And you could just go 20 fast cast rate with no skills, but you need 20 faster cast rate for this build. So that's the most important thing. Eventually, I'd like to get the 75% poison length reduction, but they're just none for trade right now. So I got the 22 poison res. That helps max out my poison res. We got the Spirit Monarch. You need 35 fast cast right here. It's all that really matters. And then of course I had to go with the 15-15 base, and it's got 106 mana, so pretty nice. We got double up Mage Fists. Pretty much the only thing to go with here. I guess you can go with Trangs if you want, but why give up that fire skill and the regeneration of mana? You don't need cold res, so. We got War Travelers. Mine are only 49 MF just to reach exactly 200 MF. I just like to have exactly 200 for some reason. This ring here, 10 faster cast rate, 25 life, 83 to mana, and 15 MF. I needed minimum of 11 MF on this ring to make this build work because I could have made up 1, 2, 3, 4. I could have made up 4 MF from these 3 items. And then that would have required 11 here, but I ended up getting 15, so then I ended up going lower on these ones. But decent ring, and then I needed a ring to match it, of course. And I didn't need any more MF, so I wanted to get mana and life. I think it's 112 to mana when you factor in the energy, plus 20 life, and then 5 mana regeneration. Pretty decent rings, nothing too crazy. And of course, Arachnid's Mesh, no other option there. On the offhand, just a 6-bow CTA and a bow spirit. For the charms, we got a 1320 Source Torch, 112010 Annie, and of course, the most important item in this whole build, we've got the Sunder charm. The minus lightning res does not matter at all, but I ended up getting a pretty decent one. So we got a 104 1540 Geeds. Then we've got 4 lightning lifers. I wanted at least 30 life on these. Not required, but you know, I wanted to go. Didn't want to go too crazy, but I'm happy with it. 31 life, 31 life, 30 life, 30 life. And then I needed 1 with 12 fast hit recovery to break the 60 fast hit recovery breakpoint. Then we've got all MF mana small charms. We got 17 mana, 17 mana, 17 mana, 16, 16, 16, and 17. And these two have 5 and 6 MF just to get exactly 200. So that is it. We will go over the keys. So I usually just keep teleport on the right. The offhand doesn't matter. I usually use F1, F2 to bow up, and then F3 for the chilling armor, F4 for thunderstorm, and then F5 for energy shields. And then I usually use S for my Nova. We got E for static fields, and it looks like that's it. So we are going to do a quick seal pop here. Let's get on into it. Hopefully the servers aren't too laggy tonight. I can already see some lag, but it's pretty simple. If you've seen seal popping before, you just telekinesis the seals, teleport on in. Look at that, boom, super fast. Boom. On this one, you might want to throw a couple static fields in just to... These guys can be a little tough sometimes. Oh, he's down here. If he's lightning immune, he's definitely a little tougher. So to be safe, you should throw a couple statics. See if we can do a decent pop here with this lag. Not bad. That was not bad. See how that was super fast. Without infinity. Crazy times we're living in. And then you just go around, see if anything dropped. Hopefully we find a charm rune for the video. And then for Diablo, you just want to go in, static field till halfway, Nova, boom. He is done. Whew. And that is your Sunder charm, 200 fast cast rate, energy shield, Nova, Sorceress builds. Yeah, that is it, man. As you can see, she is super efficient. Pretty expensive on the high end, but as like I said, you can go a lot cheaper if you want, and she's super fun, man. Just look at her go. Super efficient, and I think she is, without saying, the queen of seal popping. So that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.